What's going on, guys? It's your boy Swole TCG, and we're out here with another hot fire deck profile. So I've been holding off on y'all. All right, I know y'all are waiting for my YCS Azamina Fiendsmith deck profile and my Azamina Fiendsmith Kashtira deck profile. The Spice, I got a lot of deck profiles I got to get out there. I even got Edison Gladiator Beast deck profile coming your way soon. But I just want to recap. I just went to YCS Providence. I X3 and then dropped. Cool fact is, one of my L's was to the guy that was in 36th spot, Mitsurugi Fiendsmith control deck that he played. He was a great player. I also lost to another Mitsurugi Fiendsmith, and then all of them went to game 3, and then my first loss was actually to White Force. Imagine that. My Bays Diabell Star Simple Spoils package was my first L. Can you believe that? But the reason I lost that White Forest matchup, game 3, I drew Imperm, Black Goat, and Fenrir. That's my hand. That's my hand going into game 3. And dude had Sylvie, LZ, and Tails. Bro, sauce me up naturally, because 2 Imperms does not stop that. So full inboard for him. I just couldn't break through. So it was horrible. I decided to go with Fiendsmith Kashtira Azamina for this one. Instead of using the Bestial, I chose the Kashtira engine, and thinking that Unicorn was going to be more powerful. And I was wrong. I should have gone with the Bestial. I don't know why I did it. I did it again. You know, YCS Orlando, I took the Cash engine over the Bestial engine. And then I proceeded to do amazing outside of that YCS with the Bestial engine. Then I switched back over to the Cash engine, thinking that it was going to be a little bit more impactful, and it wasn't. Honestly, if I took the Bestials, I might have topped. Honestly, I might have topped, because the Bestial engine would have put in work. I think Bestials are huge right now. It really just puts in work against Mitsurugi. But right now I'm going to be showing off my deck list that I took to YCS Providence. The Fiendsmith Azamina Kashtira. It performed great. Obviously the Kashtira has so much synergy with the Azamina cards, and Unicorn is a boss monster. People threw everything they had at the Kashtira engine when I brought it out, and it just allowed me to extend with Fiendsmith lines and Azamina lines. And you can't answer everything. You know, if you throw in all your stops at that one engine, they're not expecting the 2 other engines to follow up. But let's go ahead and get in there. I'll go over my choices for the non-engine. I really want to do a deep dive on what I think, where the meta is at and what the right call is. And I'll go over a couple changes that I would have done. And then stay tuned, because I am going to 2 regionals this month coming up. And I'm going to bring Bestial Azamina Fiendsmith. And I am going to give an updated deck profile for that one too, immediately following that. I'm also putting together Malice for anybody. I have an interesting take on Malice, so I'm putting together a Malice deck too. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Let's get it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump on in. I'll go over the engines, and then I'll go non-engine, extra deck, and then side deck. So first up, Cash engine. The biggest brick in the deck, the card that I saw the absolute most all tournament, Kashtira Bird. 2 Unicorns. Unicorn is actually a god card. This card was actually phenomenal. I mean, everybody threw everything we had at it to stop it. And then obviously the goats, 3 Fenrir. I love Fenrir. I feel like I said, I mean, Cash is amazing. It was a powerful engine. It put in work for me, but I don't think it was good enough for where the meta is at right now. And with how much Mitsurugi, I don't think people expected this much Mitsurugi to be at the event. And Bestials just would have been so much better. There's just too much Fiendsmith, too much Mitsurugi. And I should have gone with Bestials. But next up, probably my favorite engine. 1 Paradise, 1 Lurie, 2 Tracks, 3 Engraver. Shout out to the QCR Engravers, just picked them up at the event. And 3 Lacrimos. All right, so obviously this is the best engine in the game. Love it. Craziest art. Love. There's not much I can say. I mean, this card is just 2 interrupts right here. I mean, Lacrima is easily the best normal summon in the whole entire game. So it performed amazing. I don't think the ratios should change at all. I think 2 track is, regardless of whatever build I'm going to play, I think this is the perfect ratio because, you know, the 3rd target comes up for Engraver sometimes. And, you know, having the extra track, I mean, it's a natural starter. And honestly, feel like I want to play 3 track because, like, you know, track can just go straight into Lacrima and you can just remove a brick and then you have 2 interrupts. So if they droll you on track, because droll's a god card right now. I did not expect that many people to play droll. But if you start off tracked, it's so much better than starting off Engraver naturally because Engraver get tracked and you get drolled and you're like, well, fuck. So it's like having tracked in hand is honestly better because then like you can read into the situation. Like if you don't have a normal summon, obviously like just grab this. If you have like an extra brick in your hand, just grab this and then discard the brick, you know? So, because this right here is 2 interrupts. So either end permit to stop the dump and then you're just going straight into your link. So you're going straight into Requiem and then doing Requiem, you know, and then you got follow up instantly just by having her. So, I mean, she's like the best starter, best card in the game. Honestly, biased opinion, I mean, but Lacrima's just, it's too goated. Obviously, my next up favorite engine, 1 Hallowed Azamina, 1 Slumber. This card was crazy. I'm gonna go over it. Queen came up like 1 time. I discarded her off of Tract, and then obviously her effect is special summon because Tract doesn't discard for cost. It discards part of the effect, so she can special summon out. So I caught a person off guard with it, but she didn't really come up. She was mainly a brick in my hand. The whole entire tournament, I would have cut this card. This card should have been cut. I shouldn't have played it. This card was phenomenal. This card is crazy. This card is so cracked. And I mean, I love this card so much. I need to get the QCR because this card is just so crazy. I mean, it's so free. Oh, God. I love this card. My other favorite monster in the game, Diabell Star. Shout out, new alt arts. Picked those up at the event as well. I need another one. If y'all got an extra alt art, hit me up. But only run 2 of them. You don't really need it because, I mean, the main line is your Fiendsmith engine. 2 Deceptions. You got a lot of bricks in the deck. Deception helps get rid of them and start off plays. And there was a lot of time that, like, I just bricked so hard and, you know, I just had Deception. I drew Deception off the top of the deck and activate Deception, Tribute Nib, just go crazy. So, and then 3 Wanted. Wanted obviously is like the MVP. It's like the best starter too, next to Lacrima. Like ideally, like I love seeing Fenrir, Lacrima, and then Wanted in my hand. Every game that I saw, like 2 of those together, like it was over. Like I already had a crazy board. But I want to go over this real quick. So I didn't lose to a single Malice. And I actually cooked the Malice pretty hard because of Slumber. It was so funny. So I had Paradise and Grave. I used Paradise on their Lingaribo, and once I removed that, then I activated Slumber and booked their backup. So then they had no extension further, and then I just followed up for game. So like, because obviously I didn't stop the backup from coming. I stopped the Lingaribo, so I want to stop my Slumber. And then they had the backup and the Wizard in hand. So after I got rid of the Lingaribo, he wasn't going to be able to special summon the Wizard. He already used his normal summon. So then I just booked that face down. He couldn't link anymore. He couldn't do anything else. He had to pass turn, and then I OTK'd him. So Slumber's just crazy card. This is just absolutely standard. This card should be standard from now on. You could honestly say, like, I've been debating cutting a Diabell Star because these are your 2 wanted targets right here. Like, this is my other wanted target. Like, I don't really care to see her. Like, I mean, I will. I love her. But at the same time, it's like you don't really need to. The 1 Hallowed is fine. I wish I could play more, but it's just you don't want to see that many bricks in your deck. The 2 Deceptions made sense. I would keep it at 2 just because, like, you have a lot of Charmies in your deck, which once we go over the non-engine, you'll see, like, but, like, having the Deception to get rid of like Charmies in your hand is just like, it's so good. Like you need it. You need the 2nd Deception. I honestly, like, I would love to play 3, but it's just like with how much role's playing out right now, it's just like you got to pick your battles because a lot of this deck is adding. And that's also why I think the Bestial package is so much better because it's interrupts, it's bodies on your board, it's level 6 darks to go into a maxed out Chaos Angel for free, and then, you know, you can just tribute off Deception, and it limits how much you're actually searching. You can just search with Deception and go into those plays. And then obviously, Droll doesn't really impact Fiendsmith that much. So, yep. So there's that. I will update this deck accordingly, but I think the biggest thing is cutting out Queen. It was unnecessary, completely unnecessary. Next up, non-engine. 3 Nibiru. Nibiru's a god card. This paired with any other hand trap is phenomenal. Even Nibiru by itself, if you just hold it, man, if you hold and play your interactions, it stops so much bullshit. And it's funny because like some Mitsu guys will overextend and keep tributing their guys, get their tribute effects, and I was like, cool, that's fine. And then at the end, I just Nibiru them, and then they already used their tribute effects, so they're not getting into extra tribute effect from Nibiru because they already got all their effects. So I just destroyed their whole entire board. So Nibiru was crazy. Nibiru was crazy all tournament. Definitely should be maining 3. 3 Ash. 3 Ash is awesome. Obviously, it helps too much. It's the staple. You need to run it. Always run your 3 Ash. So I think these 6 are pretty self-explanatory. You should be running them. People have been cutting Nib. I think that's very incorrect. You need this card. You need Nib. This was my goo, the Black Goat. I was expecting the Mitsurugi cards. Obviously, they want you to discard. The Ame no Mikiru wants you to discard a card. Otherwise, it negates the effect. So Black Goat was obviously all my cards like want to discard. You know, you got the Diabell Star. So you send Black Goat for Diabell Star. Helps you play going second a little bit better. And then obviously going first with this was just absolutely crazy. There was actually a surprising amount of Black Goats running around. There's a few Malice players that use Black Goats on me. And the funny thing is like why I love this combination of decks where it's 3 engines. People thought I was on White Force because he only saw the simple spoils. So he hit me with Black Goat and then called Sylvie. And I was like, I just like laughed because it's like obviously I don't have Sylvie in my deck. So I was just like, dude just wasted a Black Goat and then I cooked them. So next up, 3 Imperm. Imperm obviously is Imperm, so nothing much to say there. This is the next line that I had here was 3 Fua and 3 Perulia. I thought 6 Charmies was correct. It was phenomenal for me. It was awesome. I got draws. It stopped, but I should have played Droll. If I played Droll, I would have won 2 of those games that I lost. So. And you'll see in my side deck where I made another option, but I should have played. I honestly kind of want to main it. I'd probably just take out the Black Goats. Even though this worked amazing for me, I feel like 6 Charmies and the Drolls would have been better. Or even like maybe siding like, I don't even know, probably siding like Fualos and playing Perulia and Droll, but realistically, I think I'd probably just do like the 6 Charmies, 3 Droll, or I'd just cut off 2 Perulia and 3 Droll, something like that. Some kind of combination of that. I'm still thinking of it because this is going to be going into my Bestial Fiendsmith Azamina deck. So I'm still working on it, but I think Droll should be in the main, especially with how popular Mitsurugi has become and how much we're seeing it now. All right, so that is it for the main deck. The count is 45. If you get rid of the Queen, you're down to 44, so it's not bad. And then obviously I would take out my Black Goats. So extra deck, the Wave King, the Goat of Goats. So this guy got me a lot of games. Typhon saved my ass a few times. Chaos Angel, absolutely crazy. I cooked somebody so hard with Chaos Angel. I love this card so much. It was so funny because like I made it with straight lights and it was unaffected, and then people were he tried to like Desiree negate it. and then he tried to hit me with Nibiru afterwards, and I was like, cool. It does nothing. Necroquip, card's goated, it's awesome. Everybody loves draws. It's even better in the Bestial version because you obviously have Lubellions that are discarding for just like engravers. And then 1 Il Silva, the Omni Gate, made her quite a bit. She was the GOAT. Muricielago, obviously Muricielago is your best card ever. It's a searcher. People forget about the -500 attack for every Azamina on the field, and that comes up so much because like you'll have 2 Azaminas on the field. It'll be -1,000, and then you just attack into a detonator, crash, and get a second search, because once she's destroyed, you're getting another search. She's just so crazy. God, I love it. And then people don't read her. Like, they just think of her as the searcher and don't say anything, and then we'll just try to attack. And I'm like, cool. So that dies, and you take 500. So Saint Azamina, the absolute boss monster. I summoned this quite a bit, actually. Even without Queen and all that, it just came up quite a bit. And Saint was such a bitch for people to play around. There's a lot of cards that target. Hair, when it's removed from play, targets a card to add to hand. So that actually came up because they didn't realize that target. They thought Hair just doesn't target. It doesn't target a summon itself, but Hair does target once it's removed from play, and it's adding a monster from removed from play, a mouse monster from removed from play. It has a target. So it stopped a lot of extension on mouse players. Crazy card, and it stopped the extension with the Mitsurugi as well. Desiree, our boss monster, our beat stick. And then this was a tech card that I tried. I had to try it out, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to play it for this. I was actually going to run Fiendsmith Kashtira pure at first, but I missed the Azamina engine too much. The Azamina engine's correct. I just need to cut it down a little bit, and obviously change the cache for the Bestials. But Azamina, this card only came up one time. Honestly, it came up in my first game, and I attributed somebody's Desiree. So I activated, they didn't stop Hallowed, and then I sent for cost, I brought out Saint, activated Saint's effect. He negated Saint, and then I attributed Saint in that, and then I just proceeded to game him. Like, it was crazy, because I have Fiendsmith cards in hand too. So, and it's a 4,000 beater, so it was pretty awesome. SP, Moon, Sequence, 2 Requiem. People didn't really know what I was on. I think I was probably one of the only people that was playing a version of Azamina, or Fiendsmith Azamina Kashtira, or any kind of Fiendsmith Azamina deck. So they weren't really expecting the 2 Requiem still. Because I didn't overextend. I kept my plays minimum, so they kept guessing what I had and what I was running with, which worked pretty well. And then obviously Ag Monday for your OTK line. All right, now for the extra deck. All right, so here's the Spice. 3 Chaos Hunter. This card was crazy. I cooked the mouse player so hard with this, because I discarded Black Goat and summoned her out. So I had Black Goat and her on the field. Like, it was crazy. So I cooked somebody so hard with that. It's so funny, like the supposed best deck in the room I cooked, but then I got beat by Mitsurugi Fiendsmith Control and Mitsurugi Fiendsmith Control, and then a random White Forest. But really, it was the RNG, but it is what it is. 3 Meows. Meows was pretty good. I wouldn't change these first 9. 3 Lancia. Going against Mouse, I have all 9 in, first and second. I just put those in. Next up, this was incorrect. I played 3 Spooky. I was worried about Mouse burning me in time with GWC. I was really worried about that, because I don't really have a win condition. I was worried about Rizel with their Gaga and getting burned in time like I did at Orlando. Really worried about that. Wanted to play this. Should have been Droll. If this card was Droll, and I sided into Droll, and I didn't main deck Droll, I still would have won those 2 games, because I had this card in hand, and I could have stopped their Mitsurugi lines both times, and I would have won my game 2s. So, and I would have won the match. So, pretty mad. This should have been Droll. I double guessed myself so hard so many times with this tournament, but I'm not going to let that happen again. We learn from our mistakes and move on. 1 strike, 1 talent, 1 call by. Phenomenal. I actually ended up I saw both of these cards together, and somebody was so pissed at me, because like I had call by and talent. So like I called by their Ash and on my Deception, and then I attacked this to their hand, and then I just cooked them. So it was just so funny. Like, you gotta love to see it. You gotta love to see your 2-1 for one. The one time, the other times, the only other 1-ups that I see all the time is Paradise and Birth. I saw Birth probably the most, but it was crazy. That was a fun game. And that will do it for this deck profile. All right, so that's my Fiendsmith Azamina Kashtira deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, there were some big corrections. The meta call, the changes that I made. It is what it is. We learned from the mistakes. Now we know what to expect. Mitsurugi Rizel is a huge threat. Mitsurugi Fiendsmith Control, I think, is probably one of the best decks in the room. I actually considered playing it too at one time. I kept changing my mind on this, what deck to run at this event, back and forth, even to the point of playing Malice itself. And I couldn't, because it's just like, I really am so good with Fiendsmith Azamina, Kashtira and Bestial. I just play it really well. I'm really well diverse with the engine, and I can overcome a lot of obstacles with it. So I felt like that was my best bet. I wish I kept my Bestial Azamina Fiendsmith profile. I should have done that. I should have played that one. I second guessed myself too many times. I even showed up to the event with Fiendsmith Kashtira, changed it day of to Fiendsmith Azamina Kashtira, because it just didn't feel right to me. I played a case tournament literally the day before, and it was doing okay, but it just did not feel right for me. I tried it out with Super Poly. I did try Super Poly at first, and that's why I wanted to do the Fiendsmith Kashtiras, because then I'd have room in the extra deck for Super Poly targets. Still did not work. It did not work as well as you would think, and as well as I wanted it to. It's too much negative, where a lot of these decks, a lot of these high profile decks, Mitsurugi, Ryzel, and Malice, are getting so much hand advantage, and with Super Bowl, you're losing a lot of hand advantage. You're discarding one, and then same thing with your Azamina cards, which is sending for one. So it's just, you got to be able to trade properly into the board, and with them having a lot of hand advantage, you got to be able to stop that. So big takeaways from this, obviously, is main deck your Drolls. Absolutely main deck it. I don't think you really need to worry about it, because people say don't main deck it because of Malice. It is what it is. I don't think it would have changed anything for me personally, if I did main deck it again in my Malice matchups. Droll is just a crazy card. It should be main deck. Mitsurugi was way too rampant. Fiendsmith was way too rampant, and Droll is a godsend and a savior into those matchups, because it makes them pass turn. So that is something you guys should be aware of. Definitely play your Drolls. I think anywhere from 4 to 6 Charmies in the main deck is also correct. You want to draw. You want to draw, especially with how much hand advantage, how much is being summoned right now. You need to get as much advantage as possible, especially if you're playing a roguish deck. You can't really call Fiendsmith rogue, but it is technically rogue-ish, with Azamina being in there, and the Kashtira cards as well, Bestial cards. But definitely I would think about playing Droll in the main deck, and just do your absolute best to avoid getting hit with Droll as well. Because that card is crazy. Oh man, that would have won me the game. But anyways, guys, thank you. Let me know your comments. Let me know what you think. If you guys were at the event, let me know what you saw out there and what you think is going to be the best deck in the room. I think Mitsurugi Fiendsmith is probably going to be the best deck in the room. I think the Mitsurugi Azamina deck that I built is also pretty crazy. I think if I played that, I probably would have done pretty well with that too, because a lot of people weren't prepared for Mitsurugi. And it was a pretty crazy deck, but I will be updating this deck to my Bestial Fiendsmith Azamina deck, and I will be playing this at regionals this month, and I will be testing that out to see if I was correct and if that was honestly the way to go. So stay tuned to that. I will let you guys know. I'll be sharing that deck profile immediately following those events. In the meantime, I will share my other deck profiles that I've been working on. One of them, my Gladiator Beast Edison deck profile. I'll show you guys how to properly do it, because I actually played back in the day. So I'll show you a real Glad Beast deck. Really excited to do my first Edison event. But for right now, I'm focusing on meta. I'm focusing on the current, I hate to say competitive, but the modern, I guess you should say, the modern advanced format. I'm focused on that until I get my win and top up there. I don't want to switch back to Edison yet, but real excited to play Edison again. It's just so much fun. But stay tuned.